కరోనా కారణంగా ప్రపంచవ్యాప్తంగా ఎన్నో సంస్థలు దివాలా తీశాయి. అగ్రరాజ్యం అమెరికా సంస్థలకు ఈ ముప్పు తప్పలేదు. ఈ పరిస్థితుల నుంచి గట్టెక్కేందుకు ప్రభుత్వం నుంచి ఆర్థిక సాయం పొందాలంటే దివాలా పత్రాలు నింపేందుకు మధ్యవర్తులకు పెద్ద మొత్తాలే ముట్టజెప్పాలి. ఈ సమస్యతో సతమతమవుతున్న చిన్న సంస్థలెన్నో. దీనికి చక్కటి పరిష్కారంతో ముందుకొచ్చాడు ఓ 25 ఏళ్ల యువకుడు. టైమ్ 100 ఎమర్జింగ్ లీడర్ జాబితాలో చోటు సంపాదించుకున్న Rohan Pavuluriతో ముఖాముఖి.
How helpless we feel when we go through a financial crisis where you can find no solutions to get out of it. But the real problem comes when we need to file for bankruptcy, when we don't have enough money to do that. To help with that, an organization has come a long way which is helping families in crippling debt file bankruptcy for free. And that organization name is Upsolve. It's a pleasure to have with us for this session Upsolve's co-founder and CEO Rohan Pavuluri. One must be thankful to you for making this happen, which is really needed for the poor. Yeah, can you walk me through this? What is Upsolve and how does it work?
Of course. So I started Upsolve when I was an undergraduate at Harvard College in the United States, when I observed this huge problem in the United States, but across the world, which is that low-income individuals live in a different legal system than everyone else because they can't afford the lawyers they need to access their rights. And this is actually an opportunity that I realized where technology can make a big difference, because you can give people technology tools in order for them to understand their rights and to fill out legal forms on their own. And the first place that we got started was bankruptcy.
How did Upsolve's operations look like during its first few years, Rohan?
Yes, so when we started, I really wanted to get to know the people who were in need of bankruptcy and who were struggling with debt. So I, as a college student, just walked in to courts across New York City, and I just started having conversations with people one-on-one to understand what does it feel like to not be able to afford a lawyer. And then that is the information that led for me to start Upsolve.
When you wanted to transform your idea into the reality from its preliminary stages, did you ever think that it's going to be a successful venture?
No, I mean, I had no idea that we'd be where we are right now.
They still feel that implementation of Upsolve is still confusing. Can you please walk me through that?
How it works is that somebody comes to our website, they answer a series of questions to see if they're a good fit for bankruptcy. So after they see if they're a good fit, they answer a series of questions on our online platform about their finances, what they earn, what they spend, what they own, what they owe. And then our software takes this information and populates their forms, their bankruptcy forms. And then the individual takes the forms and files them with the court.
How do you do this, Rohan? It is a costly affair, and you began this in America.
Right.
And actually it costs around $2,500 dollars for a bankruptcy lawyer, but you are able to provide low income people it for free.
That is the amazing thing about software, and it is very cheap to give out software. I mean, you don't have to pay, the marginal cost of software is very low.
Is it true that if you charge them for this service, it would be illegal because you are not allowed to use any kind of automated service in this process?
So in America, it's a highly regulated space, charging people when you're not a lawyer in order to help them relieve their debts or in general provide legal services. Lawyers in America have written the laws in such a way to keep non-lawyers or technology products out.
What have been some of the keys that allowed you to do this so quickly?
Of course. So, I mean, number one is the fact that we've used software rather than just hiring lawyers to provide this service. That's allowed us to really reach scale in America. Upsolve is not just focused on helping people solve their legal problems, but we're focused on reforming the legal system itself. In an ideal world, Upsolve should not need to exist. The courts themselves should be able to provide a process where any low-income person can go onto a court website and fill out their forms on their own. Unfortunately, that doesn't exist, but that's the future that we hope to inspire at Upsolve.
Do you have any plans to establish your business in India too?
So not yet, but one thing that we have done is I have met with Indian government officials who are in the process of designing the consumer bankruptcy system in India. And I had the opportunity to give them some counsel on what I think ideal bankruptcy system can look like. And fortunately, India can learn from the US's example and I hope improve on what we have.
Yeah, Rohan, share with us a story of someone who has been helped and healed through services of Upsolve.
There's this one man who is living in Oklahoma and he was running a photography studio. And unfortunately, one day his photography studio burned down and he lost everything. And he didn't have very much in savings, so he actually had to file for bankruptcy. So we were able to get him back on his feet. And in the process of relieving his debt and getting back on his feet, he actually transitioned out of the photography business, the small business, to becoming a nurse. And he ended up becoming a nurse for many COVID-19 victims. And it was because of filing for bankruptcy with Upsolve and getting back on his feet that he was able to become a nurse, and in such a tragic time in the world was able to use his talents for good. And we feel like we were lucky to play a small part in bringing him back on his feet and helping victims of COVID-19. We also have one member, one former beneficiary of the Upsolve product who was a community leader. She and an educator, a teacher, she's actually now on the Upsolve board of directors.
Oh.
So we brought her on, and that's important because we want to build an organization that is really not centered around wealthy people, but centered around low-income, working-class people.
It's so wonderful to give so many people a fresh start like that, Rohan. For those who want to learn more about Upsolve, tell us about your website.
Yes, I mean, you can go to upsolve.org, upsolve.org, to learn more about our organization. And we have a lot on YouTube of talks that I've given as well, so people should feel free to check those out.
Yeah, any message to the Indian youth?
Yes, I mean, I think education is how I got to where I am. I mean, I was so lucky to study very hard in middle school and in high school in order to be able to go to Harvard. And I think it's really important in a country that is so obsessed with test taking to understand how you can educate yourself beyond what's on tests, but to develop unique passions, whether it's in the legal field or in other fields, and on your own volition, read around those topics and educate yourself beyond what's on tests. Because that type of self-education is what's going to give you the opportunity to generate new ideas and then execute towards making your new ideas a reality that actually help people in everyday lives. So I would focus on not achievement, which is defined by what you get on an everyday basis, but accomplishment, which is defined by what you do for others.
Your journey from Harvard to Upsolve is an inspirational journey, Rohan. Thank you for joining me for this session, Rohan. We wish you all the best further. Hope you achieve bigger things in future. This is Sudarshan from Ramaj Film City, signing off.